It's time to finish the socks project with the toe shaping. Now, on this project, I want to show you what I like to call square toe shape, but in reality, it does not really make a square. It just makes a round that is less pointy than common ways of finishing for the toes of the sock. Comparing to our sample that I have stretched on the blocker, we worked 24 rounds after finishing the gusset decreases. We kept the cable stitch pattern on top of the instep, and we had the rib of 4242 on the bottom of the foot. We established this pattern at the end of the previous video. So if you watched the part with the gusset, at the end of that video, we do a transition to the foot part. And we set this up, and then I tell you to carry on for either 24 rounds if you want to make the same size I'm making, or fewer or more rounds depending on the size of your foot, so that here you adjust the size of the sock to have the best fit for yourself. This size of the sock is great for women's shoe size 8 to 10, but you might be making this for a man's sock size, or you might be making this for a youth sized sock. So these are different sizes. The best way, instead of looking at the charts, they can be confusing. The men's shoe size, women's shoe size, that all can vary by really a lot, depending on the source you're going with. The best way I have found to size the socks is to measure 2 foot. So do 24 rounds and then add a few more, or do a few less if you need a smaller sock or a bigger sock, of course. Okay, but either way, for this size, we have 24 rounds, 4 cable twists after setting up for that, and now we are going to do the toe shaping. Let's look closely at the toe shaping here. How is it different? It is shorter, so it doesn't make a very sharp point, and it is faster. So you are knitting to the bottom of your big toe. You don't want to stop too soon. Go all the way to the bottom of your big toe, and then you are ready. So here is that cable twist. Now we're going to start. You can see here. I'm going to try to put it closer so you see really well. Here's that cable twist row we just finished, and now we're going to go one time around and then decrease. Can you see here? Cable twist, one time around and then decrease. One time around, decrease, decrease. And once we have 8 stitches on top and 8 on the bottom, total of 16 stitches, then we will check where we are, and we will be finished. There will be a point where we are knitting together these purls between the cables, but I will show you. We will do it one step at a time, like all of our projects. So here we go. I want to finish this by knitting across the bottom of the foot first. That will bring me to the right place for the beginning. Okay, we are going to track our decrease rounds starting now. So remember, we wanted to have 1 round before we start decreasing. So 1 round after the cable twist. Here we go. Now comes the first decrease round. Let's take a look here so you see what we're doing. I still have this purl stitch and I knit 2 together right here. Here I want to do the same thing, but I want to reverse the order so that my decreases go in a nice direction of the shape. And we want to decrease here. Knit 2 together. When we come to the end, we're going to reverse the order so that we keep the same direction. Here I went too fast. Okay, I have these 2, slip, slip, and change the order of stitches. That way you're going to have a nice shape. Okay, so let's take a look here. That was the decrease. Now, usually on these projects, you will decrease, knit around, decrease, knit around. Here we have a decrease, knit around, decrease, decrease, decrease. So next is knit around. So just work around, keeping the pearls where they are. No decreases in this round. And now we do a decrease round. Don't forget, on the other end of the instep, you want to reverse the order of stitches before knitting them together. Okay, take a look where we are. We did a decrease, around a decrease. Now we do a decrease again, then we get rid of purl stitches, then we cast off. So here we go, decrease. Now you see why you don't want to stop too early. You want to really come to the base of the toe, not before the toe even starts. You want to be already at the base of the big toe when you're measuring, because this shaping is not as deep as the one that becomes more pointy. Okay, that's first decrease round. Take a look here. Decrease, no decrease, decrease, decrease. And now we're getting rid of purl stitches right here. So this is how we're going to get rid of purl stitches. It's also a form of decrease. We're going to reverse the order here. We will put this purl behind this knit and knit them together. Now we'll purl one, then we'll get rid of this purl by reversing the order and knitting together. Knit, knit, then here, open up this and knit together the purl and the knit. Okay, now right here, one, 1, 2, 1 from 2, and now we will purl and we will get rid of this purl stitch right here. Get rid of this purl stitch, put it behind this knit and work them together. Purl. Now get rid of this one. Knit, knit. One more gets knitted together. Needle number 4. And now you see how we have this set of 4 purl stitches in the corners. We want to go one time around to get rid of those. Reverse the order here. To get rid of them, you're basically just knitting them together with the knit stitch. Here now I'm going to continue on with the same needle so that the top comes onto one needle. This yarn tends to split sometimes, so you have to be careful if that happens to you. Now we transition the bottom of the foot to one needle while also getting rid of the purls, the last purl stitches, by knitting them together with the knit stitch right next to them. And we now have 8 stitches plus 1. Oh, I didn't keep one needle. Let's put it back on one needle. So 8 stitches plus 1 on either end for the edge, total of 10 on each needle. We are ready to cast off. We're going to put a hand inside, get the end of this needle, hold like this to protect the stitches, put it in, hold like this to protect the stitches from slipping, put the needle point in. You're holding it inside with your fingers, the whole thing. You flip the sock inside out, Put your hand in from the other side and find the needles, protect the stitches, and take out the needle points from the other end. Again, be very careful with your fingers protecting the stitches so they don't slip off. And the other one. Here we are. Find the end of the yarn, pull out plenty. And now we're ready to cast off. One and one, knit through both. Okay, and do it again. You can do it from this side or from this side. Either way is okay. One and one, knit through both. Good. Keep this one stitch. Go back here. One and one, knit through both. Now you're going to jump this over the second. Good. One and one, knit through both. Jump the previous one over the second one. One and one, knit through both. Leap. One, 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 one, knit through both. Leap. And tie off. I like to leave a little longer tail so that it's easy to weave it in. It's always easier to trim off than to add more. We have two ends to weave in, the cuff and the toe. We need a sewing yarn needle. Thread the needle. Put your hand inside the sock to make it nice and flat. Follow the shape of the stitches. As you follow the shape of the stitches, you're weaving in the end. Now we don't see any holes or gaps here, but if on your sock you're noticing a hole or a gap or a stretched stitch, now is the time to close it. You don't want to have a knot. It's very uncomfortable to have a big knot inside of your sock. So you want to weave it in, following the stitches, and then flatten it. If you're using wool, you can use a felting needle a little bit, but usually you don't need anything like that. And now we come to the cuff. And we want to, you see this gap, it's very stretched. It needs to be nicely, neatly closed with the shape of the stitches. And then when I close it with the shape of the stitches, then I want to weave in the end, following the shape of the stitch. That way it looks like knitting. Okay, and again, I don't like to have big knots in the socks that I wear, so I weave it in flat and cut it off short at the end. If you're using wool, you can use a felting needle and felt it a little bit, but usually that is not necessary at all. Let's turn it inside out. Have that stretchy cuff, the cable leg, the gusset, the reinforced heel, and the square toe. You see, if you look at it like this, it kind of reminds you of a square toe. And you can also see that you need about an inch and a quarter from the tip of your toe to where you're stopping. So don't stop too soon. Measure well as you're doing your work. And I don't know if you're used to blocking your socks. I don't always do it, but I'm really liking how the cable stitch becomes nicely, softly defined after blocking the socks. So I'm going to block both of these socks. And you can, of course, wear them with the open cuff for a deeper sock, or you can roll it over for a shorter sock, or you can roll it over just halfway down and still have plenty of that beautiful cable work to show and have a fold over cuff. You can make them in many different sizes for various people in the family. This is a great design that really can be adjusted for many people, depending on color and size that you choose. It can be very versatile and adaptable. Let me know in the comments some other sock styles you'd like to knit. I am working on a new one, but I love knowing what you want to knit so that the future projects reflect that. And I look forward to reading your comments and experiences always.